breaking news out there. Ambuja Cement is in pact to acquire a 46% stake in Orient Cement at an equity value of 8,100 crores. Now, this means this brings in the pricing of Orient. Let's put up Orient Cement, please, if we can. And the pricing, I think, is 395, if I'm not wrong. The current price for Orient Cement is 353. I expect this stock to have a bump up right on open in about 2 or 3 minutes. But this is a very interesting announcement and just goes with this whole consolidation of cement capacity. Ultratech buying out India Cement. Ambuja has done one large acquisition in the past. Now they've bought in serious capacity by buying in Orient Cement, Samina. This is big news.
Yeah, and I think somewhere around last year, wasn't there talk about this happening? There was some, parts of the market that believed that CK Birla had actually approached Gautam Adani for the cement business stake sale. Now, of course, that news is confirmed. They've gone on and made that acquisition and acquired a significant promoter stake in Orient Cement. Remember, Orient Cement is part of the Birla multinational conglomerate. And of course, historically, there have been demands or efforts to acquire this company by other players, but those were failed. This time around, a success coming in from Ambuja Cement of this acquisition. A quick check of how the stock has been doing in the last couple of months will give you a sense of whether how much of that was in anticipation of an acquisition. This morning, trading flat, but I think as the day goes along, Neeraj, this is good news coming in for investors of Orient Cement. The stock should pick up gains as we go along through the day.
Yeah. Sunny, very quick thoughts here on what this deal means for both the companies.
I think the Orient Cement deal was in the market earlier and the deal was expected. I think Ultratech was also in the fray. I think positive for both the players. I think the acquisition is at a higher price compared to the current market price. So I think a positive for definitely shareholders of Orient. And for Ambuja, which prior to the acquisition of Adani Group, the group was struggling with a limited capacity. And I think with the inorganic growth strategy, as we were discussing earlier, which Ultratech is also following, I think ultimately consolidation is the way forward for the cement industry. And that again strengthen our belief that the cement pricing is something which will continue. So ultimately, cement maker will have a price making decision. And again, positive for Ambuja also because they get an access to southern market by acquisition of Orient, southern as well as central India.
Got it. Okay, just about to start off. Remember, 46% in Toto. So the open offer announcement should come in at some point of time, as Samina was saying. But 5 seconds left. Let's focus on the markets, but we stick with this news because this is a big thing and the cement consolidation is alive and kicking and here. But this is how the markets are starting off. Flat as flat can be. Let's pull up maybe this one, which is Orient Cement, because that's the big recent news maker, and just see what that one is doing before we get to the heat map. Ambuja should also be interesting. Orient is up 6-7%. So Samina was right. This one is reacting positively. Ambuja Cement 1.75% higher. The valuation is interesting. We'll get to the valuation check in just a bit. Bring up the heat map and show you what's moving and what's not before I hand it over to Samina for what's happening at the broader end of the spectrum. Not too much happening. I think Samina will have to come in sooner because on the gainers list, it's Maruti, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, so some bit of IT. But on the losing side, life insurance companies certainly correcting in the session today. So therein lies the problem. So not too much to write home from Samina on the large cap end. What about the broader end of the spectrum?
We've got Rakesh Arora, fortunately, so we'll quickly go across to him. But a quick mention, Orient Cement has already been talked about. Neeraj highlighted how the counter has reacted well. 6% higher, no surprises there. This will, of course, trigger an open offer. It's been in the market for quite some time now, the news, and hence the reaction being positive. You will have the counters such as a signed DLM responding to earnings, MCX, the brokerage node, Bajaj Housing Finance to its earnings, as some of the other counters you will be tracking closely in today's trade. Rakesh Arora of Go Advisors joins in. Rakesh, good morning. This has been in the market, the news, of course, for quite some time now, but confirmed now. Ambuja Cement is acquiring a significant stake in Orient Cement. What does this mean for Ambuja? What does it mean for shareholders of Orient Cement? And will this trigger an open offer?
Okay, so it's an excellent deal for Ambuja Cement because market was widely expecting Ultratech to take this asset. So Ambuja is a little bit of surprise package here. Orient is a very good asset. They have, decent plants and a lot of limestone availability. So overall around 16 million ton they can reach based on the current capacity and the plans that they have. Valuation, this was kind of expected between 375 to 400 rupees. So it's come at around 395. So I would say in the range of valuation where people are expecting. Obviously, there will be an open offer for 26%. So Adani or Ambuja is buying around 46% directly. Plus, they'll have to buy 26% from the open market. So acceptance ratio would be around 50% or so. As the open offer price is, 395. You can expect that the stock should stabilize somewhere between 370, 380.
Okay, interesting. Rakesh, yeah, so 361 currently. So people who are quick traders as well, watch out for that. Rakesh, what does this mean for Ambuja now? And the two large players solidifying their capacity addition plan. So what does it mean for Ambuja? One, because I heard you say it's a surprise package but a positive deal. But two, more importantly, for the other large cement companies as well, Shree, Dalmia Bharat, for example.
So, meaning Ultratech and Ambuja are taking a strong lead over the third and fourth player. And they will continue to grow much faster than the remaining tail that we have seen. Currently, I would say Ambuja is doing better acquisitions. Sanghi was a great acquisition they did. And even Penna Cement that they did was a really good acquisition. So I am finding their acquisition strategy to be slightly better, and they are adding good assets. So I think Ambuja could be one of the stocks for investors to consider from a longer term perspective. They will grow much faster than industry. They have shown cost control. So Ambuja is doing all the right stuff.
Rakesh, so I'm assuming this is a very clear thumbs up for Ambuja Cement. Do you have a target price on the counter? It's of course doing a little bit of a runway as we speak at 581, 582. Where from here in the near term, like you said, three big and very solid strategic acquisitions. They gained control of the South market, which is what they were seeking. And I guess it's a perfect fit.
So, Mary, I won't really put any price targets. I don't cover the stock. But long term, obviously Ambuja is doing all the right stuff, so the stock should continue to do well. Having said that, one should remember that earnings are weak. We had a disaster of results coming out from Ultratech yesterday, and Ambuja would also have to face that weak earnings. So from a longer term perspective, only I think investors should look to accumulate.
Just before we talk to you about Ultratech, because we're, I think, fortunate to have you on the phone this morning. But just before that, what is the advice to Orient Cement investors? Would you advise them to tender in to the open offer?
I think it is better to tender in at the open offer because having looked at, the previous acquisitions of Penna and Sanghi, they were in no real hurry to merge. And they did, agreements to do kind of tolling at Sanghi and even now at Penna. So I'm not 100% sure that, Orient shareholders should stick around beyond the open offer. They are better off switching to Ambuja once the open offer is done.
Interesting is Orient Cement opened 7% higher. The stock has already eased off and given up all its day's gains at the day's low point, 357 on Orient Cement. Also because we are lucky to have you on the phone, what's the word on Ultratech? The numbers were a huge disappointment. Where from here? I mean, such a big cut in terms of all parameters of the quarter. Where and what is the view? Do you think next quarter onwards there could be a little bit of a turnaround, or it still looks far-fetched?
So cement prices have moved up a little bit, post the Q2, and we are also seeing a little bit of pickup in demand. So there is recovery going to be there in second half, which normally happens seasonally. But Q2 we had a lot of extended rains and demand growth was only 2-3% for Ultratech. So the fixed cost actually jumps up quite a bit, and it's difficult to model in. So that's why there is disappointment in earnings. But I think long-term investors will overlook these small weaknesses for a quarter-on-quarter basis. I think longer-term story remains intact.
Rakesh, great talking to you. That's the view. Cement prices are moving up. While it's been a tough quarter, markets are not being as harsh to cement counters this morning as we've seen them be to other stocks over the last few days. As expected, Ultratech is getting a gap up, 1.5% higher is what we have. Orient Cement is off the day's high point. Ambuja is also getting some sort of a gain kicking in. Investors should be excited because Ambuja has been on an acquisition spree, and the acquisitions they are making seem to be better than its competitor Ultratech, and more importantly, they seem to be fitting just like a glove with strategic acquisitions in geographies such as the south, which was with Orient Cement.